Maharshi's Global Family Chat. News of rising invincibility around the world. This is the news everyone needs to understand how the trends of time are changing towards peace and prosperity. Maharshi's Vedic technologies, transcendental meditation and its advanced program Yogic Flying are being implemented globally. Just the square root of 1% of the population practicing yogic flying together in a group is enough to raise the levels of harmony and coherence in the collective consciousness for the whole population. Enjoy the news of enlightenment dawning for every individual, invincibility for every nation, and peace for our dear world. Jai Gurudev, welcome to Maharshi's Global Family Chat on the 17th of April 2020. Today, it's a great joy to welcome Vaidya Rohit Bhartake, who is a Vaidya originally from India, but who is working in Mauritius. He is also a transcendental meditation teacher, and he is project head for Maharshi Institute of Management Projects in Mauritius. He has also worked with leading Vaidyas in India, and he is very fond of the classical texts of Ayurveda. So it'll be a joy to hear from Vaidya Bhartake about immunity from this angle, particularly of the classical texts and what they say. Welcome, Vaidya Bhartake, and please go ahead.
Jai Gurudev. Before I start, I would like to start with this Vedic recitation. Ainkara Rinkara Rahasya Yukta Shrinkara Gudhartha Maha Vibhutya Omkar Marma Pratipadaniyabhyam Namo Namo Shri Guru Padukabhyam. And just wishing good for the whole world. Kale Varshatu Parjanya Prithvi Sashyashalini Desho Yam Shobha Rahita Sajjana Santu Nirbhaya. Which means, let the monsoon be timely and plentiful. Let the earth be covered with vegetation. Let all the countries live without problems. And let all the people live without fear. Jai Gurudev. So today I would like to have this special attention regarding how does Ayurvedic texts or how does Maharshi Ayurveda look towards the present situation which the whole world is facing with coronavirus. It is very interesting to know that the texts like Charak Samhita, Shushruta Samhita, which are the major texts in Ayurveda, they have mentioned about such illnesses which they say can affect the whole humanity, and it is called under the heading of Janapad Odhvans, which means the whole world can be affected by such diseases. So let's see, where does this reference and in Charak Samhita and what is the what it mentions regarding handling such situations. So, despite the existence of natural law of individuality in humans in every nook and corner of the world, every human is blessed with a unique intellect, singular taste, and inimitable capacity to employ one's senses, yet we are equally vulnerable to the forces of nature. Pandemics and epidemics spread like wildfires. So, how do we relate? There are four things which we share with everyone in common in the whole world. What are these four things? One is Vayu, that is the air which we breathe. It is common for every living being on the earth. Second is Jala, or water. As we know, 72% of earth is water. And even human body, the scientists have known now that 70 to 80% is water. So this is a common element amongst every one of us living on this earth. The third common thing for us is the desh, or the place. So we are inhabiting the earth. So we are sharing the whole earth with everyone. These boundaries of the countries and the nations is just man-made. But for nature, it's just one humanity. And the fourth thing, which is the common for all of us at this moment, is Kal, or the time when we are inhabiting this earth. So the four things in common, I repeat. One is Vayu, that is air. Second is Jala, that is water. Third is Desh, that is the earth, Mother Earth. And fourth is Kala, and that is Kali Yuga, we can say. We are sharing this Kali Yuga with everyone. It is common. So now, vitiation, it is mentioned in Charak Samhita that when these factors, they are vitiated, there is a simultaneous manifestation of diseases, and they have the same set of symptoms for everyone, leading to destruction of locality, destruction, and the whole country or the world is, they can say, gets into a pandemic. So isn't it interesting to know that the pandemic with the scale what we see today, where the whole world, there are very few countries which have been untouched. So it has already been mentioned in the text. Again, coming to Sushruta Samhita, Acharya Sushruta has mentioned that when this mention of Sushrut is in context to the climate change. So Acharya Sushruta says that when the climate or the seasons, they don't come properly, or they are not, they get vitiated, imbalanced, the seasonal cycle of the world. And we know we are going through this global warming. A lot of countries are facing situations which they would never imagine of, like rains and snowfall in some places, which have never been recorded before. So this clearly shows that this global warming, or whatever human beings are doing with the nature, is actually causing the imbalance with the seasons. And when the seasons get imbalanced, there are chances that such type of epidemics can arise, which can affect the whole humanity at one time. So Acharya Sushruta mentions a season exhibiting unnatural or contrary features affects or reverses the natural properties of the nature. And it leads to dreadful epidemics all over the world. The best safeguard lies in not using, in following the instructions which have been given to us to keep away from such epidemics. He says sometimes it could be due to pollens which are causing such infections. Sometimes it could be due to viruses which are of unknown origin that can cause such havoc all over the world. And so that was the point I wanted to mention now, that this, what we are facing today, is already thought of many years before. So now it's now more interesting to know what was the line of treatment. What line of treatment was expected by Acharya Charaka and Shushruta to deal with such pandemics? That's very interesting. So it's interesting. I will read the Sanskrit verse for it, and then we will discuss about what it means. So Acharya Charak says, Satyam bhuto daya danam balayo devatarchanam sadvrutta sanvruttista prashamo guptishatmanah, which means sadvrutta. Our behavior is what is going to matter. So we should be behaving in a proper way. Daya danam, charity, and then showing we can say love towards humanity, towards other animals inhabiting the earth, and devatarchanam, which means it clearly talks about meditation as a tool to face such pandemics. So what we are doing today, we are doing long programs, we are following, we are staying at home, we are following some good habits of eating food, doing our yogasanas. So this is all what was expected by Acharya Charaka when we are in such situations of a pandemic. Again, Acharya Shushruta says, Shanti Karma, Mangal Japa, Hom Havana, which means the yagyas which our Maharshi Vedic Pandits have been performing for the well-being of the humanity is what was mentioned to be done in such pandemics. Tap, Niyam, Dan, Dhyan, and following the instructions of the Guru, what were given to us to be followed as our daily routine, our daily program. This is what was expected to be done. And I'm sure every one of us is following all the instructions coming from the government or from the authorities. And this is the only way to deal with it. The extra thing which we have is our daily program. And then we have to follow certain good things according to Ayurveda. So what are these good things to follow according to Ayurveda? So I was going through Maharshi's lectures during my last visit to Meru, and I came across a lot of old tapes where Maharshi was planning to introduce Maharshi Ayurveda for the whole humanity. And there is one nice thing, the nice good words which he was using for mentioning how Ayurveda works. So Maharshi used to say there are 3 routines which we need to follow. One is our daily routine. Second is seasonal routine. And third is cosmic routine. So we'll go one by one into all these routines, what exactly is meant to be done in the daily routine. So as we all know, in daily routine, we talk about what things we do when we wake up in the morning, how do we start our day, what are the activities which we are going to do step by step as the day proceeds. So normally in context to the present situation of coronavirus, we will highlight some aspects of the daily routine which would be very important to follow during this period. The most important among them would be to start with brushing our teeth. We all brush our teeth now. Everyone brushes the teeth. But why we are specifically mentioning it now? This brushing of teeth or Danta Dhavan, according to Ayurvedic texts, it should be with the herbs with specific qualities. So it could be neem, it could be babul, it could be some special herbs with specific tastes. There are certain tastes which should not be in our toothpaste, like sweet. Sweet is a taste which is not expected, which is not good for our teeth, and it is mentioned clearly that it should not be the taste of our toothpaste. Coming to the what we should be using for brushing our teeth. So we have this Maharshi Ayurveda toothpaste or the powder, mainly the powder form, which is more we can say authentic, going with the texts. So when we rub that powder on the teeth and on the gums, this medicine or the herbs which have this medicinal value, they have a sublingual effect, and they are nourishing all other organs through sublingual effect in our body. So now that's why it is very important to know what we are using to brush our teeth. So I would rather suggest to use that some herbs like neem, if you have neem powder, with little bit of some other herbs like Vajradanti. And if it's not that common, then the best thing is to use that powder. So now we know the importance of the herbs since we wake up in the morning. The second thing which is expected and which would be good during this period is gargling. So with 1 glass of hot water, and we can add 5 grams of turmeric and little bit of salt, and gargling with this hot water 3 to 4 times a day will be very beneficial to prevent any such viral infections. Third good thing to be done during this period would be gandush, which is called oil pulling. So when we do gandush, we hold the sesame oil in our mouth for some time, maybe 5 minutes, 7 minutes, 10 minutes, depending upon how long we can hold it in the mouth, and then we spit it out. So this also helps to have a healthy gums, healthy teeth. At the same time, it is having that sublingual effect, and it is changing the flora in our mouth. So this is one good thing to be done during in the dinacharya and in the daily routine, I mean. And then comes the nasya. So nasya can be done if we have a medicated oil like nasya map. It can be done by putting 1 or 2 drops in the morning. And if we don't have, if there is no such medicine, or we don't have access to such medicines, it's enough that we apply some ghee or some sesame oil to the nostrils from inside, and from inside just to lubricate it. It also is beneficial. One good recipe, which is very effective to prevent colds, or which is used as a treatment for such type of colds, is oil, medicated oil with shunthi or ginger. So we have this process where we cook the oil with dried ginger, and then it becomes medicated, and then this oil is used for nasya. It's very effective for preventing colds and different type of respiratory illnesses. What I would suggest, if we have this essential oil with ginger, we can add a drop, but the dilution should be more. Like for 10 ml, we can add 1 or 2 drops, and then that medicated oil, which is mixed properly, can be used for nasya. if we don't have that proper oil which is made up of dried ginger, we can use essential oil of ginger to mixed with sesame oil, and then it can be used as nasya. Then another thing that would be good to do in the daily routine is abhyanga. So most of us are used to do abhyanga as per our body type and as per the season in our country. So it's good to have abhyanga in our daily routine. So that is one thing that we need to highlight. And then come the yogasanas, daily routine of our yogasanas, some brisk walk if possible, if we are not in lockdown, and maybe or in the house, some walking in the house. That would be a good way to start our day, and it would be also helping us to stay away from such pandemics or any such infections which are around us. Then what is more important after that is our meals, the food we eat. Because what we eat matters the most. So there is a sutra which says sukham, hitam and mitam. Food which is good for us, which we like to eat in a proper quantity and at proper time. So having meals at the time to have meals is very important, and also the quantity which we eat should be very well. We should not overeat during this period. It is necessary to take care of the Agni. It has to be seen that the Agni is well ignited, so that the food we eat is well digested and we get maximum nutrition out of it. Then to avoid stress, because stress depletes the ojas, which we are coming to ojas. Another thing which we want to highlight is the rasayanas. So consume Amrut Kalash in the morning. If Amrut Kalash is not available, at least ghee in the morning. Or some herbs like haritaki or amla. If there is no access to such Amrut Kalash or such preparations which are the best to be taken as a rasayana. Yeah. And the last thing for dinacharya, for the daily routine, is the sleep. What time we sleep. So it is necessary that we sleep on time, and good sleep of maybe by 10 o'clock and good sleep for about 7 to 8 hours would be very nourishing. So the first thing which we highlighted for having a good immune is our daily routine. The second thing, the word Maharshi used is seasonal routine. So now each country has its traditional food or a traditional way of living in a particular season. So it's always good to follow those particular things, like clothes to wear, the food that is cooked. All these good things which have come as a heritage in the culture of that particular country is to be followed in that season. We never go against the season. If it is rainy season going on, we follow the rules, the food stuff which has to be taken in rainy season. Each country, I'm sure, will be having different seasons at different times. So we should be very vigilant about it and follow what suits to that season at that particular time and our body type. The third is important, is the cosmic routine. And this is where transcending or the consciousness aspect comes into picture. So consider transcending as a cosmic routine. Transcendental meditation and TM Siddhi program for those who are Siddhas is going to be very beneficial to be in the daily routine. Long programs, because of lockdown, very easily it is possible. So this is going to be a part of strengthening our immune system. There are enough researches to show, to point out that regular meditation practice helps to strengthen our immune system. So to conclude, daily routine, seasonal routine, and cosmic routine, these three are going to be very, very important in building up a good immune system. Before we go into understanding of immune system, one point I would like to highlight, like how Ayurveda used to look towards such viruses. See, our human body, we can call it as kshetra or bhumi or land. It can be compared. I'm using an analogy. And the viruses can be compared to seeds. So as we know, if the land is fertile, any seed which is sown will grow up very quickly, and it will come out into a big plant or a tree, whatever. But if the land is barren, even if the seed is of very good quality, it's not going to grow in that land. Why? Because the necessary ingredients for it to grow quickly are not present in that barren land. So when we are following these principles of Ayurveda with daily routine, seasonal routine, and cosmic routine, we are actually creating a land which we can say in this analogy as a barren land, where any outside virus or bacteria would not enter so easily or quickly. So they would not find a good place to inhabit and to grow. And that's what we have heard, that many people, they are just carriers of this virus. They don't show symptoms. Maybe their immune system is strong and the land is not that fertile. They can act as carriers. But the virus will not infect them. So we all want to have a strong immune system. We want our health to be good. So it's good to follow these basic things in our daily routine. Then coming to which dosha has to be more taken care of to avoid cold and such type of infections. It is the kapha, which has to be taken care of. So we should reduce the intake of dairy, sweet, or we can say things that can aggravate kapha. So all that is cold should be avoided in this period when we don't want to get even a normal flu. Not necessary that we are preparing our body for coronavirus. We are preparing ourselves that we don't even get a simple normal flu which exists, or influenza. So it's good to have less of sweet, less of cold things. The food which is more cooked, properly cooked and warm, it is good to eat in this period so that the kapha is well balanced. Second thing that I would like to highlight here is a fundamental from Ayurveda about natural urges. There are certain natural urges which are not to be suppressed. To be more specific, there are 13 natural urges which are not to be suppressed. Particularly, I would like to highlight two here. It is mala and mutra, that is the stools and the urine. These are the natural urges which we should not suppress, mainly because if you see the sutra which talks about what would happen if you hold the natural urge to pass the stools. The sutra says Shakruto pidiko dveshtan pratishay shiroruja. Which means if we hold the natural urge to pass the stools, the first symptom which we would see in our physiology, the first imbalance that happens is we may get pain in the calf muscles, pratishay, that means cold, and shiroruja, that is headache. And now we want to stay away from cold. So it's good that we address the natural urge whenever it is necessary. So this one point of natural urge I wanted to highlight. Coming to tastes, we know there are 6 tastes which exist: sweet, sour, bitter, pungent, astringent, and salty. There are 3 tastes which aggravate kapha. So which are these 3 tastes? Sweet, sour, and salty. So the foodstuffs which we are eating should not have these 3 tastes as predominant. But it is good to have a meal which is shad rasatmak, which means which has all the 6 tastes in a balanced form. So there is a sutra which says shad ras abhyas balakaranam shreshta, which means it gives good strength. Also, we always think about deficiencies, like we need more of these minerals, or we need different vitamins. So looking towards the deficiency of these minerals and vitamins which may lack into a particular single food, the answer from Ayurveda perspective to these vitamins and minerals is to have food with all these 6 tastes. Shad rasatmak ahar. When we balance the food, the meal which we take daily with these 6 tastes, all the vitamins, all the necessary supplements, they are balanced, and it leads to a healthy individual. Coming to talk about ojas. So ojas is a finest byproduct after the Agni, we can say, of digestion. And master coordinator of all the activities of our body. It leads to contentment, vitality, longevity, and a strong immune system. So all what we have discussed now is just to see that we have a good quality ojas circulating in our system, which is a reflection of our immune system. It is said, ojam somatmakam. And we all know that when we had a call with Maharaja, we were told to listen to 9th mandala of Rigveda, the Soma mandala. And here the text says ojam somatmakam, it is similar to Soma. So when I say good digestion, good Agni, it does not mean the digestion of the food we eat, but it means the digestion, the 13 Agnis. The first, maybe our normal digestive fire, and then the 7 dhatus, that is the Dhatuvagni, the tissues, the Agni of each tissue. So whatever part that tissue is going to take from the food which has been digested will be of supreme quality, and the tissue will be of supreme quality. And then the Pancha Mahabhutas Agni. So when these 13 Agnis together function in an optimum level, then there is a formation of ojas at all these levels. And these Pancha Mahabhutas are connected to the five senses. So what you take in through your, you can say, buccal cavity, or what you eat as food, is digested by the Jaఠragni, or the digestive fire in the stomach. And then the essence of that is digested by the 7 tissues, and then ojas being formed at each level of the tissue. But what you see with your eyes, what you listen with your ears, what you smell, all the 5 senses, the intake from all the 5 senses is also important, because that also is going to contribute to the formation of ojas. So we listen to good music, Samaveda. We speak words which are good. We listen to different Vedic chantings. All the 5 senses should be nourished by things which are soothing to those senses. So in this way, we will have a good quality ojas circulating in our body, and that in turn is going to reflect into our immune system. Now, talking about what else is mentioned. So there is one specific kriya, we can say, which has been mentioned. It is a part of a daily routine also. It's called dhupan. So there are certain herbs. If we can inhale the fumes of those particular herbs, it helps to strengthen our immune system, depending upon the availability, of course. The second thing which I would like to highlight is Klesha Nashan Kriya. So when we do our puja to Gurudev, we do Arartikyam with the camphor, and we light the fire. So in the ancient traditionally in India, whenever any auspicious thing was to be done, or during the birthdays, or during many celebrations, there used to be this process of Klesha Nashan, where fire used to be used to cleanse the aura. So when the Agni is reduced in the body, it leads to various imbalances. So we use the external Agni to purify, or to as a support to the Agni in our body. And in this process, what happens is our aura gets revitalized, thereby restoring, supporting physical and mental well-being of the individual. This process is just done by running that fire in maybe at a very close distance to the individual. And there are certain ways, there are certain techniques which people follow, but it can be done even in a very simple way. Just bringing the fire near to the person and rotating it in a particular direction, we can say clockwise direction. It helps to cleanse the aura, and in turn it helps the person immediately feels the effect. So if you do this for 21 days, every day, regular basis, it actually helps to have a very strong immune. So it's called Klesha Nashan. Coming to hot water. Everyone knows that hot water is very healthy. It's good to have hot water. I want to highlight a different perspective of hot water when we talk about cold. So if you get into the texts and try to find out what are the reasons that give us cold. We call it Nidan. So it is clearly mentioned that Atyambupan, drinking excess water, can be one cause of getting cold. So when we talk about drinking water, yeah, it is good to drink enough water. But if we overdo drinking water, it can be one cause for pratishyay or cold, common cold. So this is one point I wanted to highlight regarding hot water. The water when we drink, when we have the meals, should be boiling hot. So it can support the digestion of the food which we are eating. And then later on during the day when we drink water, it can be little less hot. And depending on the season in our country or at our place, we can then decide how much water we drink. Because there are many advertisements which where we listen, oh, drink a lot of water, drink enough water so that it helps you to have a good immune. So the answer is yes, the water is good. But if it is drunk in excess, it could be one cause to get this common cold. You may induce cold just by drinking that hot water. Free radicals. We know everyone has heard this word free radicals. In Ayurveda, we call it as ama. So how is it defined? Ushmano alpa balatvena dhatum adyam apachitam dushtam amashay gatam rasam amam prachakshate. Which means eating food when we are not hungry, or eating food when the earlier eaten meal is not digested, or overeating. This leads to indigestion, or we can say not complete digestion of the food that we have eaten. And as a result, what happens? This food which was going to be circulated as energy to all the tissues, that's not of good quality. It's not of good quality, and it's called as ama. It has certain, we can say, free radicals. So it is necessary that we do some langhana. Langhana is one treatment to digest ama. There are different ways of doing langhana. It could be by staying empty stomach one day by just drinking hot water, or drinking water which is infused with certain herbs like ginger. It could help to balance the ama or the free radicals and ignite the digestive fire. Not just digestive fire, all the 13 fires will be ignited. Now, coming to positive emotions, there is one sutra in Charak Samhita which says, Vishado Rog Karanam Shreshta, which means the fear of the disease is one reason that can actually cause the disease, or that they can say that disturbs your immune system. You get, just by having that fear, you become more prone to that particular disease. And it is called as Vishad, the fear of the disease. So obviously, to not have fear, we should be doing certain good practices. And all of us are meditating. So I'm sure we are out of this particular issue of having fear, because once we are experiencing the pure consciousness, all the fear is gone and the nature takes over, and the immune system also remains strong. Coming to aromatherapy, this is what Maharshi loved the most. Aromatherapy is practiced in 3 ways. Like, you can inhale the essential oil, you can apply as local application, or you can take it internally with some honey. or some warm water. Maharshi always liked the route of inhaling because it hits the limbic system directly and you get the immediate effect of that particular oil, whatever calming effect, cooling effect. In this particular situation of coronavirus, I would strongly recommend thymol, because just having one drop of thymol in honey can do wonders, and it can keep you away from such infections. Even how strong the virus may be, it will not affect your system. Also, at the same time, inhaling certain uplifting oils like bergamot, lavender, even Ravinsara also helps to is known to have a good effect on the system. So this is what would be recommended with aromatherapy. Coming to Panchakarma or detox. Normally, we know Panchakarma, we do it seasonal Panchakarma. We do Panchakarma to depending upon the ailments or the diseases which we suffer from. So there are different times when we do different Panchakarmas. In this particular period of coronavirus, we actually want to have a strong immune system. So one Panchakarma, which would be really good to do in this time, and it could be a smaller version, we call it Laghu Virechan, which means a smaller version of drug-induced purgation. So maybe once in 15 days, or maybe even once in a week, if we take this small amount of castor oil, or Triphala, or Haritaki, whichever laxative is available, it will help to cleanse the system. And the next day, we have some light meals. Like we stay only on water or rice water, or just simple moong water, so that we don't strain our system after the cleansing. So what happens is, it helps to ignite the digestive fire and to remove the accumulation of toxins from the system. And what is known by Virechan, it's Indriya Prasadhan. It purifies the senses. And it surely helps to have a strong immune system indirectly by supporting good quality of digestive fire. That is the Agni. One thing which I would like to highlight here is regarding what should be the first aid if we have very, very little symptoms or we start feeling feverish, because the climate keeps on changing. There are so many changes happening around that we are prone to feel low sometimes when the season is cloudy, or sometimes we may feel little feverish. So there is one thing which can be done on a, we can say, as a home remedy. If we have the slightest symptoms of cold and fever, is fomentation with hot water to the lower back. And then also we can do it to the places where there is kapha predominance, like the chest and the stomach. But specifically, when we do this hot water fomentation to the lower back, it has an immediate effect on the hypothalamus. We have this sweating, the Agni, the digestive fire increases, and instantly we start feeling fresh, very refreshed. So this hot water fomentation for the lower back would be very much recommended for everyone who would feel the slightest symptom of malaise or a pre-symptoms of fever. And if we have some pre-symptoms of cold, the best thing to do is start inhaling some essential oil. You can add some eucalyptus oil to water to the steam and then inhaling the steam. This steam inhalation will have an immediate effect. These essential oils are very strong. So they will have an immediate effect and you will not land into that particular situation where you have cold or fever. So this is like emergency management of the pre-symptoms of if at all they arise. So we have always been told to listen to Vishnu Sahasranam after our program, and so let's see what has been mentioned in Charak Samhita. So it's very amazing and it's very joyful to know that what we have been doing as a routine is actually mentioned as a treatment for fevers of unknown origin in Charak Samhita. It clearly mentions that if a person is suffering from such fevers which are coming from all these viruses or normally unknown origin, it is good to listen to Vishnu Sahasranam. So there's a direct reference from Charak Samhita to listen to Vishnu Sahasranam. And when we are listening to Vishnu Sahasranam, when we don't have fever or any such pre-symptoms of coronavirus or any viral flu, we are actually working on prevention. So listening to Vishnu Sahasranam is actually directly strengthening our immune system, and there is a direct reference in the Ayurvedic text to listen to Vishnu Sahasranam. So let's go into more deeper into it. When we read the Falashruti or the benefits of listening to Vishnu Sahasranam, I will read the verse for you. It says, "Na bhayam kvachidapnoti, viryam tejasya vindanti, bhavatya roga tutiman, bala rupa gunanvita, rogarto muchyate rogat, bandho mucched bandhanat, bhayan muchyate bhitastu, mucched apanna apadaha." Which means, when we listen to Vishnu Sahasranam on a regular basis, we will be free from all the fears and will be endowed with great courage and energy and will be free from all the diseases. It could be coronavirus or any other disease, any other type of fever. It will give us strength to the mind, body, and we will be able to fight any particular situation. So isn't it interesting to know that what we have been doing as a daily routine is actually prevention? Like when Maharshi talks about transcendental meditation, he talks about that missing link of consciousness in today's Ayurveda practice all over the world. And we all are blessed to have this wonderful technique, and for the Siddhas to have the long programs, which is actually prevention. And listening to Vishnu Sahasranam after finishing the program is strengthening the system much more. So now we have got a direct reference about Vishnu Sahasranam and the benefits of listening to it. So this is one very interesting thing. And then coming to food. So I would like to highlight some qualities of a particular food which I want everyone to have on a regular basis during this time when we are working with Corona, and that is green gram or green moong dal. So everyone is familiar with green moong. Most of us are familiar with it. It's what are the qualities? How this moong dal? What are the qualities that are mentioned for moong dal that can be beneficial? So it is said that it is sweet and slightly sweet and astringent in taste. It has a cooling and a drying effect. It is very easy for digestion. And the vipak, that is after digestion, the ras, the taste which is created after digestion, the after effect is katu. And it balances kapha and pitta in our body. And it is superior to all the pulses. It is pathya. And it is specifically mentioned that moong dal is very beneficial when we are dealing with diseases which are for the parts in the head or the upper parts of the body or the respiratory system, like tonsillitis, pharyngitis, laryngitis. It is very good in these conditions. And also one good thing is it has a quality called Vishad. Vishada is a quality of that particular pulse. And this quality actually helps this pulse to have a good effect on the peristaltic movements. So we don't have constipation. It helps to eliminate all the toxins. First of all, it digests the toxins and eliminates them from the system. So it is advisable to have moong dal on a daily basis during this period to have a strong immune system. And for people who are practicing Langdhana, it's good to have this water of moong dal, just boiled moong dal we boil it in more water and then drink the water after Virechana. So this is one food stuff which I wanted to highlight for this period, and because of the specific qualities that it is going to give us. Then coming to Rasayana. What are the qualities of Rasayana? The Rasayana, we normally take Rasayana because they say it helps us to have a longer life, good healthy mind and body, good complexion, and it gives strength to all the senses. So this is interesting because everyone may not have access to Maharshi Amrut Kalash, which is the best Rasayana available to us today. There are certain simple things which are available at home, which also can act as a Rasayana. And what are those? Acharya Shushruta mentions them. He says, Shitodakam payak shodram sarpir itteka dosisha, which means honey, ghee, and milk are also Rasayanas. So if you're taking honey on a regular basis, hot milk, or heated cow's ghee, it is going to act as a Rasayana. It will have a Rasayana effect on our system. So we don't have to worry if you don't have access to Amrut Kalash at this particular time. We can be happy by having ghee or hot milk, which also is and it's good to add little turmeric. So we call it saffron milk. Adding little turmeric will make it more healthy. So now I want to highlight one more thing about Ojas. So there are certain foodstuffs or certain herbs which are known to have an anti-aging effect, which means they will act indirectly as Rasayana and which will be directly affecting the Ojas. So first of all, sattvic foodstuffs are going to affect the Ojas, which is an indicator of our immune system. So which are the herbs? It will be good to know certain herbs. So if they are available, very handy for us to have during this period, we should immediately start taking them regularly. So Shatavari, Amalki or Amla berry, Haritaki, and Amrita, and Brahmi are few herbs which are mentioned in Charak Samhita which have a Vayasthapan effect. And Vayasthapan means anti-aging effect. So what is the definition of health according to Sushruta? Sam dosh, sam agni, sam dhatu malakriya, prasanna atma indriya mana, swastha ityabhidiyate. So all what we have discussed is to balance the doshas, especially kapha dosha in this particular context. Some Agni, to have good Agni, to have good quality of 13 Agnis, as we talk. 7 Dhatus, 5 for the Pancha Mahabhutas, which are for the senses, and then the digestive fire. And then Rigveda says Jiveta Sharda Shatam, which means if we are following this particular, we can say, routine or this particular habits, good habits, with it is going to have a good effect and you can live a longer life. At present, for us, longer life means we should be able to overcome this coronavirus situation in a healthy way. So that's more important now. And then rest of the life, we are obviously going to follow the good, all the good things. So how does Maharshi has actually described health in a very beautiful way. So I'll just like to quote Maharshi here. So swastha is what is meant by a healthy person. So swa means atma, the self, and stha means established in atma. Healthy is he who is established in atma. That is in his own infinite self, pure transcendental consciousness. And established in atma means established in two opposite values, many and one. That it is the transcendental value of Brahman. So this is how Maharshi has beautifully talked about the health or swasthya. And then he says our true nature is happiness and balance. So I wish everyone a healthy period ahead, following this daily routine, cosmic routine, and the seasonal routine. And Jai Gurudev, if there are any questions, I would like to answer.
Thank you very much, Vaidji. This has been a tour de force of the classical texts and all that they recommend directly for protecting ourselves against any infection and increasing our immune system, increasing our immunity. And just one question I have, or maybe two. You mentioned green mung dal as a special food that it would be very good to take at this time because of its special qualities. Do these qualities also apply to yellow mung dal, which people may have more easily?
Yeah, the yellow mung dal is just, you can say, purified version. They remove the shell and then it becomes yellow. So it's one and the same.
Okay, so we don't need to take the one with the green shell as well.
Yeah, with the shell would be the best, if it is available.
What does the shell have?
The shell will have more qualities which will add on to the benefits of the mung. When we are removing the natural form, we are getting a more refined form. We are actually removing certain good qualities out of it.
Good. And you just mentioned the sattvic herbs, which would be good to increase ojas. Shatavari, Amalaki, Haritaki, Brahmi, and one more, I think.
There are actually 10 of them, but I have mentioned only the ones which would be easily available. But I can mention all, so we can see whichever is available. So it's Shatavari, Amalki, that is Amla, Haritaki, and Manduk Parni, that is a Brahmi, type of Brahmi, Punarnava. Punarnava is one herb which is will have a good effect, and Amrita, Tinospora cordifolia. And then Rasna, Shalaparni, Jivanti, Aparajita. But the easily available ones are Shatavari, Amalki, Haritaki, Amrita, and Brahmi.
No ashwagandha?
No. Charak Samhita talks about herbs which have an anti-aging effect. It is called Vayasthapan. It stops the aging. And ashwagandha is not a part of that list.
Very good. Thank you very much, Vaidji. This has been fascinating. I think that everybody will be more careful to do all the things that you have mentioned, sipping their hot water, to enliven the 13 Agnis, and to be careful not to fear disease. We are doing so many things, as you have brought out, that Mahashiji gave us, listening to Vishnu Sahasranam, doing our program, doing all the daily routine and seasonal routine and cosmic routine which Mahashi gave to us. So we are in a very strong position, and it's not necessary and not helpful to fear any disease coming to us. Whatever comes, we can handle it. And I liked very much that you gave first aid. And the first is fomentation with hot water in the lower back and chest and stomach. Now, can you just tell us, please, what is fomentation? Some people may not know.
Yeah, fomentation means we use a hot pad or a hot water in a bottle, and we use it to apply to a particular part of the body. And in this case, it is lower back. And as we know, lower back has special qualities. And if we go through the Maharaja's research, it is the Durga, which represents the sacral bone, and that is what is the strength. So when we are giving this, we are heating that particular part, mainly with hot water, in a bottle or in a rubber bag. The electrical heat is not expected actually. I want to specify hot water mainly in a glass bottle if possible. And then if it is not available, electrical heat pad would be good. But it's good to have water. And then when you give that heat to the lower back, everyone should try this. It has an immediate effect and you feel fresh instantly.
Now, fermentation then can be in the bottle. It doesn't have to be a cloth with wet, soaked in hot water.
It could be like that. But this hot water can be kept for a longer time. Like when you're sitting in the chair, you just put hot water in a bottle, you wrap a cloth around it and just put it on your back when you're sitting on the chair. So you can hold it for a longer time.
Okay. Is there added benefit to having the cloth soaked in hot water? And applying
if it is possible to do that, it is good. Yeah, it is the one and the same. It's not any particular extra benefit, but it will have the same effect.
And then the second first aid we can do if we feel any symptoms, then is inhaling essential oils.
Yeah, and if essential oils are not available, just the steam inhalation. By adding whatever we could have at home at that particular time, just the hot steam inhalation can also help us. So for those who don't have essential oils available, at least they should inhale the hot steam so that the respiratory tract is strengthened.
Mm-hmm. And we could put some herbs in it.
Yeah, herbs will be very beneficial. Eucalyptus oil, many oils, like essential oils, we have the whole list of oils. The Ravinsara, we can have many essential oils into it.
Many people have thyme growing in the garden.
Yeah.
They could just put some thyme in the hot water and then inhale the steam.
Yeah, it would be very, very beneficial.
Good. So thank you so much, Vaidji. This has been a joy, real fun, really good, refreshing view of the knowledge from the angle of the classical texts and seeing how everything that Maharishi has given us is directly from the classical texts, even the texts of Ayurveda, and so we should just do them with increased appreciation and enjoyment and relaxation, and then ojas will increase, and bliss will increase, and health and immunity will increase. So thank you so much for joining us this evening.
So, and then there will be soma flowing everywhere.
And there'll be soma flowing everywhere. Good. And we'll all be going to bed early. All glory to Maharishi Ji.
Yeah.
And now we end by ringing the bell of invincibility for every person in the world to be invincible and every nation to be invincible. Jai Gurudev.
Heaven is descending, descending on the earth. Heaven is descending, descending on the earth. Heaven on earth, heaven on earth, heaven on earth. Heaven is descending, descending on the earth. Light of God is bringing heaven on earth. Gurudev's grace is bringing heaven on earth. Heaven on earth, heaven on earth, heaven on earth. Light of God is bringing heaven on Heaven is descending, descending on the earth. Heaven is descending, descending on the earth. Heaven on earth, heaven on earth, heaven on earth. Heaven is descending, descending on the earth. Heaven is descending.